Welcome to the MHP Exchange, where the riches are in the niches. We'll show you how to invest your way into mobile home parks with real strategies, tips, and behind-the-scenes know-how to grow your cash flow. Stick around. This is where smart investing begins.
I'm going to make a prediction here. You're going to start hearing this heavily over the next few months. The tech guys have finally figured out real estate. You're going to hear about AI-powered underwriting. You're going to hear about automated property management, predictive maintenance, AI callers, all of it. And I get it. The technology is really, really exciting. But let me be really clear. The best technology in the world cannot overcome bad operations. You can automate all the data, but you cannot automate discipline. You can buy software, but you can't buy leadership. And that's why in this episode, I want to talk to you about the truth behind the tech hype and why the next decade still belongs to the real estate operators. I have to acknowledge the reality of it. I'm really, really excited about the tech. I'm curious about it. I feel like I'm learning a little bit more every day. I was just at a workshop where a good portion of it, we created a segment of a workshop that we go with other executives across the country, was about how everybody is integrating new technology, specifically AI, into their day-to-day operations. And everyone across the board and across all sectors are looking how to integrate it into data, into automation. And without a doubt, you could find podcasts and conferences that you can go to, and a little bit of it is overwhelming. And while I will admit that these tools, they can help, especially when it comes to underwriting or predicting cash flow, tracking maintenance issues, and even analyzing sentiment. But here's the hard truth of it. If the foundation is weak, if your operations are weak, the tech is just going to speed up your mistakes. You know, the tech is not going to fix everything for you. If you have a bad operational system, it's only going to magnify it. So if your systems are sloppy, if your culture is broken, then the AI is just going to allow you to fail faster. In real estate, and I'm speaking only from real estate, and I'm sure this is true in other businesses, but from my 25 years experience in real estate, everything begins and ends with operations. You can't fix a failing community with an app. You know, your AI can predict maybe some of the maintenance issues that you have, but it can't make your team care. And this is where the differences are going to be made and won and lost in the business. You know, when our people are down on the ground and they're interacting with our residents and they get the opportunity to know the resident, right? That's what's making the community work, right? No AI in the world is going to instill that culture for us. You know, and I harken back to, you know, community that we owned in Middle Georgia. And this was a real significant turnaround. The former owner had lost the property in foreclosure. And it just had a culture where the former owner was still there. She had, you know, lost the property in foreclosure. They still owned a lot of the homes on site. And the culture there was horrible. And essentially, there was some different powers of influences on the ground, residents who were just into some really bad things. We had to go in there and change that culture and make sure that those, residents that maybe have been bringing the rest of the community down had exited the community, and made sure that the residents that remained knew that the standards were going to be raised, that there was going to be a zero tolerance policy for, any late night traffic or anything that could turn that community into a situation where you don't want to live in. And in doing so, I mean, that helped spark a turnaround inside of that community. The tech isn't going to tell you to do that, right? That is operations on the ground. That's having a manager that's going to, a manager that's going to interact with the residents to find out what's really happening. And that's where the accountability comes in and the human side of it comes in. So the real wealth that you're going to build here in real estate is going to be in the systems that you build out on the grounds. And then the tech that you add is going to amplify that or assist that and help that along the way. So as we have this conversation, I say this because I'm not anti-tech. I'm pro-integration, right? I love seeing how we can add some additional technology into the stack of what we're offering and how we can simplify the workflows for the people on the ground. And I thought one of the best ways I've heard somebody using some of this new tech in the real estate space was looking at the workflows and seeing where it can make their people just 20% more efficient along the way, taking small steps and using AI as a lens and as an opportunity to see reality faster, not as a crutch to avoid it. And in doing that, it doesn't replace, the decisions that operators are going to have to make or the team is going to have to make, but it can help get them the data faster. It can help show you the truth, but it cannot give you the courage to face it. Right. And that sometimes is dealing head on with some of the challenge that you might find in a community that you're running. So, AI is coming without a doubt. AI is on its way. It's already here. You should be using it or figuring out how it's going to work, because if you don't, you're going to be behind the curve and your competitors are going to be doing it. They're going to be moving a little bit faster. They're going to get data a little bit cleaner and a little bit quicker. And I'm excited for that. But for those of you out there listening who think the tech guys have finally figured out real estate or think that you need to have just the best tech to be an operator, the future does not belong to the people who have the best algorithm. It belongs to the people who know how to use the technology without losing themselves in it. Because real estate, it's still dirt, roofs, and people. And you can't automate that. I'm asking you out there right now, if you're listening, I'm going to ask all of you listening one question. Would you help someone you didn't know who was looking to learn about real estate investing or wanted to know about finding, funding, and operating a mobile home park investment? If your answer is yes, then give this episode a rating on the streaming platform that you're listening to. And if you do, and share it with the MHP Exchange, I am going to share with you the same after site visit report that we use in the field that allows us and our team to get insight on what's happening, to check out the highlights, the concerns, and the opportunities we're seeing on the ground to help us achieve maximum efficiencies in our communities. Until next time, everyone, this has been Frank Rizzo from the MHP Exchange. Happy investing.